Come with me as we go behind enemy lines.
Well, good day, Dragons fans. I'm Big T, and this is Behind Enemy Lines. Round 26, Parramatta. Oh, Parramatta. Before I bring in our guest, you can see our guest there, Troy. Here is the Parramatta side. You've got Clint Gufferson at the back, Mike Acevo and Sean Russell on the wings, Penasini and Talagi in the centres, Brown and Arcee, half and 5'8", Regan Campbell-Gillard, Hands and Lane to the front row, Tuolagi, Cartwright, and Offa Hengawi locks the scrum. Lussick, Makateo, Moretti, and Kerr on the bench. Tago is 80th man. Dory, Sanders, Harper. Harper's having a hard time trying to get in the Parramatta side, and they're running second last. And Offa Hiki Ogden is on the extended bench. Our guest, let's bring him in. Where's my paperwork? Troy, my old mate. Thanks for joining us. We haven't had a guest for a few weeks. We've been playing scummy teams. So Parramatta's like my second team. It was my mum's team. So got a bit of a soft spot for Parramatta. Tell us who you are, what you're all about, and your podcast.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. I think we did it last year as well. But I'm a massive Parramatta fan for 38 years, coincidentally, since the 1986 grand final. So maybe I'm the bad luck charm that we haven't won a comp since, but I also have the Paracave podcast as well. So do tipping podcasts and player interviews and any breaking Parramatta news that comes up as well. Major NRL news as well. But it's something that I really enjoy doing, and you can find that on all the usual sites.
How long did you say your podcast has been going for?
This is the 4th year that it's been going for now. This is probably the busiest year that I've done because I've added those extra podcasts in. So now that the NRLW has started, I'm trying to do a weekly wrap with Kiana Takarangi as well. So of the NRLW. So that's pretty enjoyable to do as well when we can get that one done. So just another added thing. So really enjoying it, and it's great fun.
That's a nice collection behind you. Is it yours?
That is the Paracave. So all the
Jess, can you get up on the big screen?
That's the
the whole screen.
That's
mate. That is awesome, man.
Yeah, so that's been obviously 38 years worth of collecting. Probably serious about the last 20, I guess. I think I'm up over 75 jerseys, I think.
Wow.
Including my first ever one, in which had a number 7 on the back for Sterlo.
Like 12 or something, or smaller?
Oh, yeah, I can't fit into that one anymore. So that still hangs proudly on the wall. A couple of player jerseys, a couple of player boots. I think this one just on my, what's that, right hand, left hand shoulder there, that boot there, that's Fui's boot there. But yeah, it's got the TV, the fridge, the hindy fridge.
Right. And that's where you watch. That's where you watch all your footy.
Yeah, pretty much. If I'm not there, and yeah, I'll watch the games in there. I'll probably be watching Spoon Bowl in there, I guess.
Spoon Bowl next week, yeah. That'll be a big game. All right, you guys. It's not a season to brag about. Former star players, injuries to star players, players wanting out. You sack your coach mid-season. Where did it all go wrong, mate?
Yeah, look, I'm honestly, I don't know. it was a tough start to the year. I think we started off okay. I think we were 2 out of our first 3. And then, unfortunately, Mitchell got injured, and he was out for 10 weeks, which doesn't happen. It doesn't help when your star player is out for 10 weeks of the competition. I think during that period as well, Gutho got injured as well. So he was out, I think, for 4 to 5, I think, off memory. So he was out as well. So your 2 best players are out. And then obviously after Magic round, Brad Arthur got sacked. And I think that might have caused a few rumblings within the club as well. Maybe with some of the players as well, because I know that he was a friend of a lot of the players as well. So maybe that caused a few rumblings as well.
Yeah.
Look, Junior got injured. Thankfully, I don't think we've had many suspensions like last year. It's just been injuries that have cursed us, I think, this year, and probably team morale as well. So it's always difficult to come back and get the wins and get that way up.
So, with your is that rumour still around that Mitchell Moses wants out, and that wouldn't help?
Yeah, look, I don't know if it's obviously
I
out there.
don't even know if it's true. It could be all book BS, you know. But
yeah, look, I mean, he's obviously got.
I asked the pressing questions.
The pressing question, the hard questions. Well, look, there's been talk that he does have clauses in his contract as well. I think it's in 2 years' time, I think, that he has a good get-out clause. If he wants to go, he can go. That would be majorly disappointing if he did go, as I said before, being our best player. But, I guess he just has to wait and see what happens next year and see the performance. I mean, obviously he wants to win a premiership, so hopefully he can steer Parramatta to him.
Yeah, you got Blaze Talagi off to Penrith next year, but you've got Isaiah Longy and Zach Lomax coming to the club. A bit of sweet and sour there for you. Blaze Talagi is a good player, but Longy and Zach Lomax. Longy's coming; he's a fullback. Lomax is a centre wing. Where does it leave the King?
Well, I think the King will start off at fullback next year. I think he'll start there. And I think it's probably potentially up to him as to where he wants to play. He has come out and said he's happy to play anywhere the coach wants to put him. We have seen... Sorry?
18th man?
Being the competitor I think Gutho is, I don't think he'd want to be 18th man, but...
that's right. I like the King.
Look,
I like self-given nickname. I like the King.
I think it might have been Matty Johns. I think that gave him that one. I think, but
I think he's playing on one leg at the moment.
Yeah, and that's a bit of a concern for us Parramatta fans. We saw it over the weekend with Tristan Saylor running around him and scoring a try. So that is a major concern to us Parramatta fans where he is going to play. I would just leave it up to him because, as I said, he's a competitor. He's one of our best players on his day. And look, if he wants to retire, it's up to him fully. I don't know much about Isaiah from Penrith. Apparently, he's a massive young gun. Played one game this year. Zach Lomax, I'd put him on the wing next year, to be honest. He made Origin this year from the wing, so that's obviously going pretty well, and I'd put him on the wing.
You know who I do like in your ranks is Jake Tago. He's the brother of the Penrith Tago, isn't he?
Isaac.
Yeah, certainly is. Yeah.
I don't mind that kid.
Yeah, he goes all right. He scored a couple of tries this year. Played all right. Some people say that centre might be his best position rather than wing, but look, it's only early days in his NRL career, so I guess he's just trying to get used to it, and more experience will
That's right, yeah. I'm going to keep an eye on that kid. A couple of years ago, I said, watch a kid called Keogh Weeks, and he's blinding them at Canberra. Okay, now to this game. Why will the Dragons pump the Parramatta Eels on? No, sorry, I'm not going there yet. That's my last question. Where are Parramatta going to beat the Dragons this weekend?
I they're going to beat them by starting off well. We have definitely seen them do that on many occasions this year. Unfortunately, have fallen in the second half, but they just got to cut out their mistakes and their discipline as well. And look, if they can get on a roll, and their edge defence as well. So it's been a problem for many years at Parramatta, but probably more noticeable this year. I think if they can get their edge defence sorted, they'll be all right. They'll go a long way to winning this game. Obviously, got to watch Zach on the opposite wing with those high balls because he can catch them and score a try. But, I think that's the way they're going to have to win. They're just going to have to worry about their own game.
Yeah, Lomax is up against Russell, I think. How tall's Russell, do you know? You've got a gauge on his height?
No, not offhand.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah,
it's actually Sevo who'd be up against Big
really?
He'd be up against Sevo.
I think so.
Well, okay, that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good chance.
He's got a height advantage there.
Yeah, probably an ability advantage, to be honest.
Sevo's had an indifferent season.
Yeah, he has had injury and suspension.
All right, where are the Parramatta strengths and what the Dragons have to watch? Who the Dragons have to watch?
Who the Dragons have to watch? Well, I guess the strengths of Parramatta, as we all know, is that they do have a pretty good offload game.
Oops. Is he gone or is it me?
Second phase play can get that one, if they can get that one happening. Look, for me, I think Dylan Brown will be up for a big game. It's been quiet the last couple of weeks. Last home game of the year for Parramatta, I think he's up for a big game. But yeah, as I said, just probably the offload games, I think they just have to wrap that ball up from the Parramatta side because they can get some good second phase play from there.
Yeah, that's it for me. I've done all my questions. Jess, you got any questions? Yeah, don't need to put your hand up, mate. It's only me and you.
A couple of questions, yeah. Well, one's concerning Trent Barrett's obviously taken over as interim coach, and I do have a follow-up question after that. But what are your thoughts on how Trent Barrett's gone as interim coach? Obviously, he's had previous jobs at Manly and the Bulldogs, and not being re-signed by Jason Riles for next year. What are your thoughts on Trent Barrett's, how he's done?
Oh, look, he's had his moments, I think. And look, the good thing I think I have seen from him that we haven't seen over Brad Arthur's reign is that he's introduced a few rookies, a few debutants into the side. So that's always good to see. So I think that's something that is good to see. We've seen Dan Kerr, Charlie Geimer come into the starting side. Jake Tungo, as you mentioned before, he made his debut as well. Lorenzo Mulatalo. So we've had, I think this season, even when Brad was here, we've had seven or eight debutants. So that's good to see. Most of those have come when Trent's been coaching. Look, he's gone okay, but without results. So it was probably, the writing was probably on the wall. I think potentially he could have stayed if he had won games. He potentially could have stayed, but I just think because he was part of Brad Arthur's coaching system, I guess Jason wanted a brand new start. So that's why he's off to Brisbane next year.
I think Trent Barrett came in with a 15% win record, I think. So he was behind the bullet before he started. So
and you've got Nathan Brown coming on as the assistant coach next year as well. Obviously, Riles would have played under Brown when he played for the Dragons. So Brown's got an experience. He'll be a steady hand there for Riles. I'll offer him a lot of experience. Yeah.
Yeah, he was there a couple of years ago.
Sorry, maybe Brownie didn't want to. Jason Riles didn't want Brownie and Barrett together. There might have been a slap fest there or something, Like, yeah, get rid of one of them. I want Brownie.
And my next question is: Regan Campbell-Gillard heavily linked to the Dragons. Shane Flanagan trying to bolster our forward pack for next year. Obviously, Jason Riles has given him the tap on the shoulder. He's free to move on next year. He comes in at 32 next year. What do you think Regan Campbell-Gillard could offer the Dragons if the Dragons did get him?
Yeah, well, I think the best game that he played this year was against the Titans a few weeks ago now. Absolutely smashed it. I think in the recent few weeks, I guess maybe playing for a contract somewhere else, he has really stepped it up without Junior being there, and has been one of the better Parramatta forwards. Look, 32, front row forward, it could be a good change. Maybe he's potentially got a little bit stale at Parramatta. And I guess once he's been told just that he can look for somewhere else, then that's why it's coincided with his form that he's had at the moment. And look, I think it'll be a good pickup for the Dragons. I'm pretty confident he will go there. I think I heard today that the Cowboys have withdrawn their offer, I think. So there's a pretty good chance he'll go there. I don't think he wanted to move to Queensland anyway and stay in New South Wales. So, look, he was an Origin player only a couple of years ago. If he can get back to that form or on the cusp of it, then it'll be a really good buy for the Dragons.
I think it's a sticking point between 2 and 3 year deal. I think it is. That's what they're stuck on. They're trying to work that out. Maybe give him a 2.5 year deal. I don't know.
Meet in the middle. Yeah,
right,
that'd be interesting.
Would be interesting.
If Tommy Turbo's going to the NRL saying, I want to give some of my money back, well, then maybe Jason Ryle, or Parramatta and the Dragons can come up with a half-year deal, maybe something different.
Yeah.
All right, Big T. Back to you.
All right, back to me. All right, Troy, you've been absolutely fantastic. I love that background, and I'll tell you again, I love that cave, mate. It's absolutely fantastic. But this is the time of night where we normally take a walk down memory lane. Walk down memory lane. Come with me as we take a walk down memory lane. I'm going to do something different this week. I'm going to do St. George Dragons versus Parramatta Eels, 1947 to 1998. Next week I'll do an Illawarra special. This is the Dragons' best ever win over the Parramatta Eels. We played 108 times St. George Dragons and the Parramatta Eels. 166 Dragons 166, Para 134. 2,251 points to the Dragons, 1,375, and one draw. And you know when that draw was September 17, 77. Dragons 9-all. Dragons Parramatta 9-all. Goodwin scored a try for the Dragons, kicked 2 goals. Chapman kicked the goal. Ed Stocklewitz scored the try for the Dragons. Creighton 3 from 6. But look at the halftime score. Dragons were leading 9-0. Just mentioned that crowd, 65,957. 959. Good crowd.
What a legend. Down Gerringong way. Gerringong still living in Gerringong. And, yep.
He is, mate. He's still going strong. That was a game where Lord Ted knocks himself out, scoring the try. But the game we're going to go to is the grand final replay. September 24, 1997, New South Wales Rugby, must be Football League back then, I'm not sure what it was, grand final. Replay, it should say there. Sydney Cricket Ground, referee Gary Cook, crowd 47,828. If you add those two crowds together, that's the largest crowd that watched the game of football in the world, 113,787. How's that? I'll just run through the teams for you. For the Dragons, we had Ted Goodwin at the bats, Steve Butler and John Chapman on the wings. Graham Quinn and Robert Finch in the centres. Rod McGregor and John Bailey comes into the side. Rod Reddy, John Jansen and Robert Stone. Well, that was the back row for the Dragons. Up front was Craig Young, Steve Edge and Bruce Starkey. Steve Edge was the captain. Barry Beef, only one person named on the bench. Excuse me. And Harry Barth, the coach. Parramatta, coached by Terry Fernley. Mark Levy, Jim Porter, Mick Croden, Ed Sulkowicz, Graham Atkins, John the Bomber Beard, and John Colk. John Colk, his granddaughter plays for the Titans.
Lily Rose.
Lily Rose Colk. So she's carrying on the Colk name in rugby league. Ray Price was at the back of the scrum. Gerard and Higgs were the second rowers. John Baker, Ron Hiltage, and Graham Olling was the back rower. Dennis Fitzgerald was on the bench. Harry Bath. Oh, what a man, Harry Bath. What a great coach. Balmain Tigers 66 to 61 to 66. Newtown 69 to 72. Dragons 71 to 81. 110 games, 65 wins, 4 draws, 41 losses, 59%. 2 grand finals. Overall, 315 games and a 52% win rate overall for his teams. As a player, he was just as good. Balmain, UK Dragons, 50, 57, 58, 59, 510 points, 20 games for Australia. Scored over nearly 2,500 points in his career. And wherever he went, he got a premiership. Balmain, runners-up, and 45, premiership in 44. Went to England, won 2 premierships, come back to the Dragons, won 3 premierships. As a coach, runner-up in Balmain, 64 and 66, but we know who won those games. Dragons, 77 to 79. 77 and 79. We've got a great player, rugby league legend. All right, let's get on to the game we're watching, the 1977 Grand Final replay. First action was a Parramatta penalty. Mick Cronin misses the goal. And another one. Parramatta had another kick for goal. Still 0-0. Mick Cronin was off today. Didn't have his boot on. Dragons penalty. Ted Goodwin right in front. Pops it over. Easy. Dragons 2-0 in the Grand Final. And then 28th minute, John Jansen goes over under the posts, untouched, from a very, very, very dubious pass from Bruce Starkey. He was over though. Referee Gary Cook gave the try. Dragons 7, Parramatta 0. Remembering tries already were 3 points back then. So 7-0 to the Dragons. Another penalty goal to Mick Cronin. This time he hits the goalpost.
Crow.
This time he's the goalpost. He was an old toe poker, Cronin.
Yeah.
They used to spray the kicks everywhere, the toe pokers. And he was spraying them today. Oh, there we go. It's half time. Dragons 7, Parramatta 0. All right, I've got to get this one right. Where are we? Over here. Early in the second half, some buffoon in the crowd throws something. Oh, that's what Rex Mossop said he was. He was a buffoon. And hits referee, touch judge, Brian Barry. Jack Danzy was on standby, but Barry carried on. There's Barry on the sideline, Manly and Roosters game. I'd say that's maybe late 60s, a long time ago. And there's Barry now. And I brought Barry up because on February the 6th, 2024, Barry turned 100. Congratulations to Baz. Refereed, touch judge, rugby league for all his life. Good on you, Baz. Well done, mate. Congratulations. All right, Dragons penalty. Teddy Goodman kicks the goal. Dragons 9-0. Where are we? Get me pages going. I think I'm here. There we go. Oh, Parramatta penalty. Mick Cronin misses again. Dragons 9, Parramatta 0. Teddy Goodwin, cheeky field goal. Pops over. Field goal's worth 1 point. Dragons 10, Parramatta 0. Dragons penalty. Teddy Goodwin kicks it over again. Dragons 12, Parramatta 0. 72nd minute, Robert Stone gathers the ball from a scrum and streaks 35 metres to score untouched under the post. Lord Ted Geberts again, 17-0. And then on the bell, John Bailey puts up a little chip and chase. Ray Price fumbles. Jim Porter fumbles. Mark Levy fumbles. Bailey puts it on the toe again, kicks it in the in goal. John Peard falls on the ball. Oh, hang on. Seems to appear has pushed Bailey over in the back. Penalty try, Dragons. Referee Gary Cook. There was no bunker back then. Straight away. Awarded a penalty try. Dragons 20, Parramatta's 0. Here he is, the old Lord Ted. A Dragons immortal, I reckon. There he is, 6 and 7 today. Well done. Keep the field goal, 13 points. Dragons 22, Parramatta 0. There he is. He's very awkward kicker, old Mick Cronin. But, he wasn't very good today. None from 4. Yeah, he's a great player, Mick Cronin. My mum loved him. There it is. Dragons 22, Parramatta 0. Oh, there's me very good mate, Reenie Kaji. He sent me this a few years ago when we were playing in our Parramatta and Dragons days. I have put a little bit of weight on since then, so just excuse that. Well, thank you for joining me. That was Behind Enemy Lines and a walk down memory lane. I hope you enjoyed them. Another great Dragons win. I reckon it's the best Dragons win against Parramatta ever. Next week, I'll do an Illawarra. Go back to that slide, please, Jess.
Yep.
I'll do Illawarra. Greatest win against Canberra Raiders. This has been a Big Three presentation, proudly brought to you by the Mad Dragon Vodcast. Mate, thanks for joining us. You've been absolutely fantastic. I love your cave.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
If anybody else out there in the Dragons world has got a cave like his, send me a photo and I'll stick it up on the Mad Dragons Vodcast. No, mate, Troy, you've been great. I hope we can form a relationship between the Dragons,
definitely.
the Mad Dragons Vodcast, and the Parramatta Cave Podcast for years to come. And we'll just jibe each other. We'll come on your show and you can jibe us. You come on our show and we'll jibe you. Yeah, fantastic, mate. I think Jess has got something to say. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, just want to say, before we let you go, so Troy, just let us know, give us your final say on the game, and you can give your podcast a plug as well. What's going to happen in the game on Saturday?
Yeah, look, I think the Dragons have got much more to play for than Parramatta, so they'll be definitely up for it. And so they should. I think they're behind your arch enemies, the Bulldogs. I think the Dragons are the second most improved team of 2024, so they have a massive amount to play for this game. But, yeah, as I said, Parramatta at home, their last home game. They haven't had the season that they wanted to this year, so they'll want to impress in front of their members and fans for a win and give them confidence going into next week in that massive game next week. So, yeah, look, it's going to be interesting. As I said, Parramatta to get off to a good start, hopefully. I'll go for my old mate, Will Penasini, to score the first try. And, look, I think there might be about 6 or 8 points in it. So, hopefully it's fine weather and we see some points scored. Maybe something like a 26-18, something like that. So, hopefully Parramatta's way.
Yep. And you want to give your podcast a
plug as well? Yes.
Tell everyone what you can do?
Yes. The Paracave podcast. It's on Apple and Spotify and YouTube as well. So there's multiple that come out each and every week. There's tipping podcasts, NRLW podcast, game day preview podcast as well, and interview podcasts as well from time to time. Not just Parramatta players, but also players from other clubs as well. So I try and mix it up as I'm a massive rugby league fan, so it doesn't have to just be Parramatta players. But yeah, you'll be able to find me on Instagram as well and Facebook as well. So check me out. Give me a follow if you want to.
All right. Thank you for coming. Troy, thanks for coming on the show, and we'll see you again next time.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. Too easy.
All right.
All right. So